excuse me. Hey, how y'all doing? Happy Monday. Yeah, today I'm gonna be starting off the stream with a little unboxing. A book that I actually ordered like many months ago has finally been completed and shipped out to all the backers. This is a book that was crowdfunded, by the way. So it took quite a long time for them to actually put the book together and ship it out, but they shipped it out like earlier last week, and I finally received it this week. And it's a book that I'm actually kind of curious to check out, because again, it's very similar to some of the other books that I've unboxed on stream before. Very relevant to my interests. It should be pretty cool, actually. I'm very keen to check this out. I have had a look at the digital version though, because they sent out the digital copies to all the backers, including a bunch of other bonus things as well. So I've had a quick look at it, and it looks really nice. But I'm really keen to have a look at this hard copy version, which should be pretty nice as well. You know, what's up there? Zero and everyone else that's currently lurking. Yeah, it's not very often I do an unboxing. Trying to reduce the amount of shit that I'm buying. But yeah, this thing was ordered like quite some time ago, so it took them a while to ship out. But at least they're faster than fucking Limited Run and Strictly Limited games. Then they actually ship when they say they're going to ship. Unlike those two companies where they say they're going to ship whenever the sun rises, or like some comet passes Earth or something like that. So yeah, this should be a pretty interesting looking thing. I'm really keen to check it out, actually, because like I said, a lot of the books that I've unboxed on stream before have been relevant to my gaming tastes. Those books being the big book of Japanese RPGs and the big book of point-and-click games. And I think someone mentioned this one to me a while ago, like it was being crowdfunded a while ago. So I put my crowdfunding, put my amount in, and just waited patiently for it. And here we are. So it's pretty heavy from what I can tell, though. Ooh. Ooh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is nice. Fuck me, this is heavy. Jesus Christ. Yes, so it is the big book of text adventure games. And it's the hard copy of them, actually. 50 years of text adventure games, from Oregon Trail to AI Dungeon. Yeah. This looks actually quite nice. Fucking hell, the quality in this is pretty nice, actually. Quality is quite nice, actually. Since a winter morning in 1971, when the teacher wielded a teletype into his classroom to debut a game about the Oregon Trail, people have been telling interactive stories on digital platforms, from text adventures to VR poetry, MUDs to mobile romance sims, and chatbox to roguelites. These games without graphics have pioneered new techniques for interactive storytelling, engaged in imaginations with clever techniques and beautiful prose, and explored the new terrain of fiction you can play. Yeah, you might know a few of these. I'm assuming that they have covered quite a lot of games over the years. I don't know how in-depth this is, but it seems like he's done quite a lot of research from a lot of the posts from the crowdfunding. And I believe the books are still actually available. This is like the backer release hard copy. And plus I got access to a lot of digital bonuses as well, so it's been quite nice having a quick look through some of those bonuses. But I didn't want to spoil myself too much on this big book, as you can see. So I'm really keen to check this out, so hopefully we might find some interesting stuff. And I said I wasn't really planning on doing anything else after this, because I don't really have any games that I actually want to play on at the moment. I might think of something, but I don't know, we'll have a look through this and see what we can find. I mean, I did think about playing Secret of Monkey Island remake, but fucking that's a pretty involving game for me to play. So, and plus I'm actually traveling on Thursday, so I don't really want to start a long playthrough of anything until I get back. So I don't know what I'll do after this. I might just play something simple. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah. Keep that. Might want to throw that away. Nice. Oh yeah, so hard copy book, eh? Oh, actually, it seems like there's a few things. Ooh, there's a couple of books in here, actually. There's a couple of nice things in here. Further explorations. Yeah, so I know that that's actually a bonus book with some additional stuff in it. Look at that. Look at that. That looks quite nice. Have a very quick look at this. 50 Years of Text Games, Further Explorations by Aaron A. Reed. So this is a companion to the big book. I believe this has some additional stuff in it. So what's that say then? Can you focus please, camera? There we go. This book is a modest companion to 50 Years of Text Games. It contains some bonus material that couldn't fit in the main book, and original articles on fan-favourite games left out of its inherently compromised jigsaw puzzle of a premise, where only one game could fit in each year no matter how many worthy contemporaries were released. 4 genre explorations covering styles of text game overlooked in the main volume. Hacking simulators. Oh my god, I hope Uplink is in this one, because that's such a good game. Visual novels, wordplay games, and one-room games interspersed with 4 short articles on beloved, unique, or memorable titles the main book missed out on. One from each decade from the 1980s on. Excuse me. Detailed timeline of text game history rounds out the end of the collection. I'm thrilled to have this space to present more slices of the history of interactive fiction. Hope you enjoy this extra material. Thanks to my crowdfunders as the collector at the collector's edition level and higher for bringing further explorations to life. Yeah, I actually backed it at the collector's edition level because I really wanted to see what else was in this, because like I said, a lot of text games I'm pretty keen on, but like a lot of the other genres that I've actually bought books on, I'm not like massively familiar with a lot of the stuff that have come out because there's so many of those games that have come out. So the books like these are a nice way to actually explore some of that stuff, if possible. Yeah, move that out of the way. Okay, so Hacking Simulator sounds pretty interesting though. I mean, that's probably referring to games like Uplink, for example. Uplink, if I remember correctly, is a game from Introversion, a British studio that did some really cool games, including DEFCON, which is a nuclear warfare simulator, which is pretty cool, and Darwinia, which is this really interesting sort of real-time strategy game set in like a sort of computer software type of thing. It's actually really cool, those ones. But yeah, Introversion have done some really cool games in the past. So what was this? The Gostak. What is this? Just interactive fiction. Okay, so seems like there's a okay, code related, is it? Hold on. Yeah, so a lot of text adventure games are you typing in commands, I think. At least the old style ones were anyway. You're presented with some dialogue, and then you type in like commands to actually advance the story, which is pretty cool. Well, these are pretty standard though, I think. What else is there? Wordplay. Alright, so it's just actually going into some ideas and examples here. Dark room. Yeah, again, it's just some different ideas here. It's not bad, actually. Excuse me, one room games. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so different examples of game styles, I think. Oh, Planetfall. Oh, that looks interesting. A map. Yeah, again, it gives you like dialogue examples. Visual novels. Okay. I like how the first thing it mentions is Yeah, so it's talking a little bit about but I think it actually goes a little bit further back than that, I think. But yeah, visual novels have been around for a long time. Like, I don't think long before actually happened. Yeah, it's even got the map system. Just as an example of how the dialogue branches. And I think a thing about is that you could actually set waypoints and jump between them, which actually bypasses a lot of the inherent issues with linear text adventures where you can't go backwards through the dialogue. It's actually kind of cool. I've always liked Uno for that. Long live the Queen and Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy sounds like an interesting name. Can't really see it properly there because my monitor's in there. Hold on. Let me just move my monitor out there so I can actually give you a better look at that. Oh, it's close enough. It's kind of hard to get the camera there though. These look quite nice though. These look pretty recent though. Yeah, 2010. Okay. Oh, nice. 2010, eh? Jamers, what's up? Anchorhead. Hacking simulators, yeah. War games. System 15,000 for the Commodore 64. Ooh, that's a fairly old one. Uplink! Yeah, I thought they would have that in here. As soon as they mentioned in Hacking Sims, Uplink is in. Uplink is really cool actually. If you haven't played that before, you should check this out. It's really, really good. There's a secret narrative branch in this, where if you can hack into one of the highest security systems within like a certain period of time from the start, you actually get a secret quest to do. I've actually managed to trigger the secret quest in this, but it's super difficult to do. It's really good fun though, Uplink. Like, there's a lot of really nice game mechanics in this that actually make it feel like you are hacking, like in the game. You have like, fucking firewalls and packet jumpers, things like that. It's actually really cool. Fun little game, that one actually. One of the better old school ones that you can get. Always had fun with that game. Like, I actually thought about playing that at some point, like over the past few months. Just never really sat down to actually get around to it. Yeah, so this is just like a supplementary with some additional stuff in it. There's a lot of historical data in here as well though, like. Yeah, not bad though. The main book is what I'm actually keen on though, but that's actually quite nice. Yeah, this is the main book. 50 years of text games. So it's, ooh. Looks quite nice. Number 273, eh? Right, first edition as well. Okay. Whoa, look at her. Well, that's a lot. It actually goes by year as well, so it starts from the Oregon Trail and then goes all the way through to Sense and Semiosis and maybe some other stuff. You know, if you want to have a closer look at some of the games that are actually on this list. Zork, The Hobbit, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's quite a few common names in here actually. Dwarf Fortress, that's less text adventure and more text spam than anything else, but yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, so a lot of these early ones will be like, yeah, as expected, command based. So you're presented with dialogue, and then you type in some form of command. But it goes through the history of a lot of this there. Yeah, I wouldn't really count Dwarf Fortress as a pure text adventure. I mean, even though it's made up of a lot of text. But yeah, it does go through a lot of the history of this, and like the development of it as well, like for the 70s. Yeah, so it's got a lot of commands in here as well. Hold on. Glasses are slightly pinching on my nose at the moment. Oh, cool, okay. What the heck is that? Report form from Top Management Decision Simulation. The team's decisions for the next quarter are indicated by the circled decision alternatives and bottom. Early type of game control, is it? Yeah. So again, you type in you get a command, and then you have to put in like something in that to control it. Like how many bushels of grain do you want planted for the next 1,000, blah blah blah, and then it actually affects the outcome of the game going forward. Yeah, a lot of the early games are very simple though. Yeah. Oof. It's actually kind of interesting seeing some of the development materials for this as well, though. Dissertation. And ooh, into the 70s with some of the games. Oregon Trail. Okay, cool. Oh god. look at that. Wow, okay. Cassette tapes. Ooh, Apple computer cassette tapes. Old school stuff, eh? Breakout. Yeah, so we're name dropping some early game stuff as well. Zork. Oregon Trail, yeah, here we go. So is this the early version? Yeah, this is the early one before it actually gave you the user interface. Riders ahead, they look hostile. Tactics: 1 run, 2 attack, 3 continue, 4 circle wagons, 5 go to 2. If you run your game time but wear down your oxen, if you circle you lose time, ? Yes, taking 10 minutes to load as well. Yeah, I remember some of the games from way back when coming on cassettes as well. I mean, we had the Commodore 64 over here, obviously, and the Spectrum and all that. So a lot of those were doing the rounds back when I was a kid. Fucking, I remember magazines back in the day having, cassette tapes on the front. Lots of batteries. Yes, this is the Moai Book Club, as you can see. Got a text adventure book, which is all about text adventure games, of course. So the early ones are going to be, the command-based ones where you have text printed and then you type in. I think once you get to like later ones, you might have an interface of some description though. So it actually goes through quite a lot of the history. So if you're interested in these kinds of games, it's not a bad book actually, from what I can see. It's actually kind of cool to see some of these, illustrations that actually accompanied those games back from way back when as well. I smell a wumpus. You're in room 15. Tunnels lead to 6416. Shoot or move SM. Yeah, it does describe how some of the games are built as well, which is really cool actually. This, like I said, if you're keen on these kinds of games like back then this book is actually for you, because it has a lot of the development materials back then as well, which is really nice. Yes, a book about games that are books in disguise. I mean, a lot of the text adventure games are similar in style and scope to the choose your own adventure style games where you have like a bit of dialogue and then you're presented with a set of choices and then you go to a specific page based on those choices. I used to play those games a lot actually. Not really games, but I used to read those books a lot when I was a kid. So I'm quite familiar with the process for these kinds of actual games as well. Always found choose your own adventure games to be very interesting. Some of them are actually kind of fun, like way back when you used to get like loads of kids books which had quite a lot of those in. So it was kind of fun to read those ones like when I was younger. Super Star Trek. Oh, look at the look at the kind of commands that you got here. Hold on, there you go. Command nav, course 0 to 9, 8.5. Warp factor 0 to 8. Of course, this text adventure didn't really recognize warp factor 9. Damage control report, yeah. So, Star Trek. It sounds kind of cool, actually. Hey, Einzaki, what's up? Yeah, we are currently having a quick look through this book which arrived today. The 50 Years of Text Games. It's like a very thick, with like several C's, history book of text adventure games. By text adventure, it's like the classic, you get a command and then you type something in and then it does something. Very similar to, as I mentioned before, the choose your own adventure type of games. These are pretty cool though. Even the interesting thing about this book is it actually has like code blocks and stuff as well to show you the different commands that the computer would pass as you're like typing stuff in. Yeah, well, that's interesting you should mention that, batteries, because the book that I was just looking at, the supplementary book, does mention something very interesting in this one. And Yeah, it also has a very particular screenshot from a game that is related to this. So these kinds of text adventures are similar, of course. But yeah, those kinds of games had to start somewhere. It's just the difference between what we're familiar with in terms of, you know, the likes of Uno and whatever, and what came out like in the 70s and early 80s is the presence of an interface. Yeah, so a lot of these are pretty standard though. D&D. Is this Dungeons and Dragons? Is it? Yeah, D&D. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, okay. Strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, hits. Next, what is thy name? You found 220 in gold. Grab ye flask. Yes. The spectre is not amused. Press next to fight. You were number 1326 for specters. It even has like a very simplified interface for this kind of stuff. Yeah, so a lot of the text adventures back then would start to implement some basic interface design to it as well. Like this, for example, Moria. A very simple interface there, just to help you with it. But yeah, they were starting to actually look at visuals for that kind of stuff as well. So I think the problem with the earliest kinds of games like these is that the interpreter needed to be able to parse your command correctly, and you could get stuck if you didn't know what the correct commands are to get the interpreter to do something. I remember, I think recently Jiggy was playing a James Bond game that actually required you to type in commands and stuff, and he was stuck for a while trying to get it to do things. Overlord, what's up? Yes, more book unboxings. This is one that somebody mentioned to me a while ago, the 50 Years of Text games. They just released all of the crowdfunding books. So this one came today, including the hard case, which is quite nice, and also a supplementary book as well, which has a few additional stuff in it. It's actually quite a nice book, this. Like, if you're interested in, like I said, if you're interested in the classic text adventure type of games where you're typing commands, then this book is actually for you, because it has quite a lot of stuff in it. It even has code blocks in it as well to show you how some of the codes were actually written for this. Yeah, I think there is that one. Yeah, I remember actually. I think some Japanese YouTubers, VTubers, were playing an AI-based one where you write in like a basic premise, and you get the AI to generate all sorts of stuff, and the AI sort of deviates towards some pretty lewd scenarios. It's actually quite funny. Yes, AI Dungeon. There's that one as well, but there's another one that some people have been playing. I'll have to dig up the video for that. It's actually pretty cool. Quite funny as well. But yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff in here actually. Yeah, but I'm actually kind of quite happy that they've included some more modern stuff in this. Like I mentioned before, they actually included Uplink, which is such a good game. Uplink is a brilliant little hacking simulator, so to speak, by Introversion. Some of you will probably recognize that game from the more infamous DEF CON, which is a brilliant little game for multiplayers. Yeah, Uplink is great. Uplink is so good though. Brilliant little game, that one. I need to sit down with that again and actually relearn the speed hacking route for that, because as I mentioned before, there's a secret route you can take. If you hack the highest security servers quickly enough, you can find a special quest which lets you do some pretty wild things in it. Yeah, and DEF CON is pretty cool as well. Yes, new backlog item coin. I've played Uplink before, just not on stream. I used to play that a lot over the past few years. Hi Wins, what's up? Good evening. How's everyone doing? Yes, we are exploring new book of the map. Will Crowther's original 1976 version of Adventure, modified from an unattributed map at rickadams.org, omits some dead ends and redundant connections for clarity. A little map. And said, I don't know what I want to play after this. I thought about playing Monkey Island, but I also thought about playing Mirrors again, because I don't want to play something extremely long. So stuff, what's up? Yes, this Moai has hands. This Moai usually wears an Apple Watch, but it's on charge, and I usually wear a lot of bracelets as well, but they're kind of off at the moment. Look at the size of this map. The canonical 350-point adventure from 1977 with Don Woods additions. Modified from an unattributed map at rickadams.org. Omit some dead ends, maze details, and redundant connections for clarity. Ooh. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, this is pretty nice actually. I mean, you might think it's a little wordy, and in which case it pretty much is because it's text adventure related, but this has quite a lot of stuff that's very interesting, and I'm looking... Zork! I'm pretty keen on getting to some of the more modern stuff to see what, you know, they've got behind the hood in there as well. Zork. Light lantern. The lamp is now on. You're in a dark and damp cellar with a narrow passageway leading east and a crawlway to the south. On the west is the bottom of a steep metal ramp, which is unclimbable. The trapdoor crashes shut, and you hear someone barring it. You never finished Zork. Well, hopefully this gives you some motivation to go and play it. Zork is pretty cool. Look at that! Old school flyer. Ad for Zork's first commercial release for home computers from the January 1981 issue of Soft Side magazine. I think I remember that actually. Old school magazine. Oh, that looks so good. Yeah. The nice thing about this book is it actually has quite a lot of additional materials in it as well. Eat money! Talk about eating rich foods. Win, naturally. Count leaves. There are 69,105 leaves here. So at least there's some of these games actually have like a sense of humor attributed to them as well, which is pretty good. I always like that about these kinds of games where you type in your own commands. If you get the command just right, you can usually find some funny Easter eggs in the game code. Put gem in mouth, yes. Insert gem in ear. Oh, code block! Tell robot go south. Done. Get sphere. As you reach for the sphere, a steel cage falls from the ceiling to entrap you. To make matters worse, poisonous gas starts coming into the room. Tell robot lift cage. Yeah, a lot of games didn't really take themselves seriously until PS1, that's pretty much true. Probably, I wouldn't say just PS1, I think more PS2. You sort of saw a lot of the seriousness creep into a lot of games. PS1 still had a lot of wacky games in it. Lovely. MDL. Oh, is that the language, is it? Oh yeah, so you've got MDL, which is code language for this particular game. That's actually kind of nice. They even give you a little excerpt as well, just to show you. Focus, please. There we go. Right. Yeah, it even shows you some of the commands as well. You're in a circular room with passages off in 8 directions. It's actually pretty cool. The thing about these kinds of games is that the developer would have to account for quite a lot of commands in it. Like loads and loads of commands, just to allow for like different scenarios to happen, which kind of balloons the size of the game somewhat. So a lot of the games that came like later and later on tended to be pretty big. Either that or they had a much more simplified list of commands. I think there's there's a certain point where games went from this style of game where you have, you know, a text print, and then you typed in your command, which then led into the point and click style of game where you have a list of verbs, and you click a verb and then you click something on screen, which simplifies a lot of it, and also simplifies a lot of the development for it as well. There's obviously a place for both, I think. And it actually goes back to a point. Give me a second. Come on. Right. Yeah, that actually that goes back to this point as well, in that I've got this book as well, which is very much related to this book, in that they both are books about games which are somewhat similar in scope, but have very different gameplay mechanics in it. Like, this one is all about games where text is printed and you type your commands in, whereas this one is the evolution of these games where you don't have to type your commands in, you click them. How many books do I have? I have a lot, because you should probably remember that I do have the Japanese RPG book as well. But this one you've seen before, though. It's like a lot of point and click games. Who makes the Text Adventures book? This is crowdfunded. So the author is Aaron A. Reed, but you can find the crowdfunding page for this if you look for this this particular book title. They just released all the books to backers today. Well, not today, like last week, and I received mine today, which is kind of lucky because it was supposed to be coming on Wednesday, and I fly out on Thursday, so luckily it arrived on time. But yeah, this book and this book are... Stop bouncing, phone. Thank you. I actually need a more stable gooseneck, I think. Excuse me. But yeah, these books, I would say, are roughly similar to each other in that they both cover very similar types of games. Is there a shmup book? Not yet, James. I would hope so. But I have not heard of a shmup book actually happening yet. And yes, that is your job, James. But I think if James wrote a shmup book, it would be full of really janky PC Dojin games. Super janky PC Dojin games. Oh, okay. Hey, G. Is that a bad thing? Not really. Not really. Let me put this away first. You know, think. Right, okay. Yeah, so Pirate Adventure. Was this like the very earliest version of Monkey Island, is it? Probably. I mean, looking at some of the commands here, though. Yeah. Tell me what to do. Look, mongoose. Okay, I see nothing special. Get mongoose. Yeah, so this is like stuff from the early late 70s, sorry, and then we're hitting Choose Your Own Adventure 1, The Cave of Time. Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures you can... Oh yes, it's just referring to this. Yeah, so as I was mentioning before, a lot of Choose Your Adventure books are like precursors to, you know, games like games that are like developed like this, where basically you read a paragraph and then you have a choice of pages that you can go to. Like, if you decide to do this, jump to page 5. If you want to do this, jump to page 8. And then you're basically bouncing through the book, going like forwards and backwards until you get to the conclusions. It's like the analog version of your commonplace text adventure nowadays. That's like pretty cool. But yeah, they're like one of the earliest branching style of games. Yes, you keep your finger on last choice so you don't die. Bookmarks are definitely, well, if you think about it, yeah, a bookmark, like a proper bookmark that you put into a book, is like what you would consider the flag system in a visual novel, where if you suspect a dangerous branch to happen, you mark your spot and then you can come back to it anytime. Yeah, book save state practically. So if you grew up like reading books like that, then you should be pretty familiar with how they play, which is why I like playing visual novels and text adventures, because it sort of takes me back to, you know, my childhood when I used to read a lot of you know, choose your own adventure books. Always had fun with those. But yeah, you always had like, I don't know, a little torn off bit of paper. You know, you put it in the as a bookmark, or use a proper bookmark or something, and then you can come back to it anytime you get to a choice, which is like an instant game over or something like that. I always thought that was a pretty fun way to do stuff, and it's interesting that that kind of mechanic actually carried over to modern games. Mud! Oh, here we go. So we got what? The Hobbit, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Monster Island. Oh! Softline. Yeah, so Softline was a very early magazine for lots of, you know, video games, early software. Uplink is not really a story, it's just straight up hacking. There is some narrative in it, but a lot of the narrative is transmitted through logs and quest text. So there's not really a huge amount of, you know, reading that you have to do in Uplink. It's actually quite a nice game though. I love Uplink. I think it's like one of my favorite ones. Anyway, yeah, so Mud. Oh yeah, so we start to get some interface here. Let's speed through all of this. Mud. Yes, we are reading Wolverine. That's something that more people should be doing. Yeah, reading The Hobbit, the actual book itself, is always a lot of work, and then playing The Hobbit is even worse. Now, at least you can be sure that the earliest version of The Hobbit, the text adventure one, is probably a lot better than what we've just got recently. You got some different actions here as well. His Majesty's ship, Impetus. Now, there's a lot of detail in this book, actually. Especially when it comes to code blocks, where, you know, the programmer geeks. You know, the code blocks start to get way more complicated as time goes on. Look at this. You can actually type into the narrative as well. Yes, it is a lot more detailed than the some of the other books that I've got there. There's a hell of a lot of detail in this, which is quite nice. Yeah, my camera is on a pretty wobbly gooseneck though, so I need to look and find a more stable one, I think. I'll figure that out at some point though. Excuse me. Really itchy throat. Say to Gandalf, give map to Elrond. You talk to Gandalf. Gandalf gives the map to Elrond. Elrond says, what do you expect me to do with this? Thorin waits. Yeah, so you actually get a very basic interface to go with some of the commands that you type in this, so it's actually pretty cool. Opening screen. Yeah, code blocks as well. Oh, an assembler. Oh, that's interesting. So this game was actually written in assembler, was it? Didn't know that. Interesting. Suspended, a cryogenic nightmare. Yeah, it was pretty advanced by the look of the Hobbit, actually, yeah. Lots and lots of detail in it as well. Short and very creative, yeah. They're quite nice. Yeah, you get maps in here as well for the different games. Peel playing pieces away from the backing. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You wake up, the room is spinning very, very gently around your head, or at least it would be if you can see, which you can't. Yeah, so it gives you a brief history of, you know, the development behind the game. And some of the example commands as well. Maps. Getting the Babelfish. Oh, spoilers. It even has like some basic strategy in this as well. That's actually quite nice. Yeah, there's a game about hitchhikers in the galaxy of all things as well. Examine no T, drop no T. Microscopic space fleet. Mind forever voyaging. Excuse me. I think most of us have played a lot of these games in the past. That's why it's nice to actually buy a book and see some of the stuff that you probably haven't seen before. Yeah, Mind Forever Voyaging. Orange juice. Really? Well, that's an interesting way of learning English. Whoa, look at that map! Simulated Rockville in 2041. Each building and intersection with a connection can be entered. Wow, okay. Stores sell goods, bars serve drinks, businesses kick you out at closing time. As the simulation progresses through the future decades, the map changes as buildings are repurposed or torn down. Wow, holy crap, this sounds really pretty intense. PJ, what's up? For a text adventure, this sounds pretty nuts. If it's got like a map, well, not like a map, but if it refers to a map that constantly changes as time goes on, that's actually pretty crazy. Sounds like an interesting game though. Jeez. It looks like the narrative parts of it are pretty complex as well. Look at Health Center. The Henderson Health Center Healthcare Center is a respected member-owned HMO which has consistently refused to follow the trend of providing inferior healthcare to those unable to afford the best procedures. Oh, I can't really tell you what the music is in the background because I'm listening to an online radio station. This one is Xanadu though, I don't know what was on before that. I'm not sure. Gee, I can't remember. This one's interesting though. And the fact that it evolves as you play is really nice. Yeah, it could have been Soul Crester. I don't know. The thing about the radio station I have is that the titles are not coming through correctly in Japanese. They're like in Mojibaka. Oh, look, the text is all garbaged. Excuse me. Right. Uncle Roger. I can't take that name seriously because there's an Uncle Roger on YouTube that goes around critiquing people's Asian cuisine. So every time I see Uncle Roger, that's the first thing I think of now. What a name for a game though. Yeah, if you know, you know, right? Oh, this is cool. Let's try that note, said Uncle Roger. His breath smelled like Kentucky Fried Chicken. What are you up to, I asked. Cool, yeah, you can see that they slowly start to get some interface. Plundered hearts. Again, more. More node maps, actually. That big map before was pretty impressive, though. And this is nice, actually. There's quite a lot in here, actually. Prestavba. Perestroika. Why does that sound like a precursor to, what was it, oh, fucking hell, that. Papers, Please! That's it. Why does it sound like a precursor to that? Papers, Please is quite the game. I fucking love that game. Actually, like, was it? I think I've triple dipped for that now. I've got it on Steam, I've got it on iOS, and I've got it on Switch. Glory to Aristoska. Yeah, Papers, Please is brilliant. Such a good game. So funny to play, like, and it's got some really clever mechanics as well. Like every year that progresses builds upon the last in terms of game mechanics. So the first one you're just checking passports. The second one you might be checking passports and visas. The third one you're checking passports, visas and photographs and so on and so forth until you have to check like about 15, 16, 17, 18 different things at once. So it gets pretty nuts as time goes on. Such a good game though. But yeah, you absolutely need mouse control for that because I've tried playing it on iOS and it's so difficult to play on iOS. And the Switch version is virtually unplayable because you have to use the controller for it. Yeah, a little fan movie I think I've seen, that's quite nice. Georgie, yes. Everyone loves the main character in that game, actually. Yeah, even with a mouse it becomes extremely difficult to play. And I think that's what I like about it so much. It's like, it's a progressive system that gradually gets more difficult as time goes on. So you need to be on top of all the mechanics as you play. And it does get really difficult. So I've seen people struggle with like, 10, 11 documents that they have to look through. And the thing about that game is that if you make one tiny mistake, you start to lose the money you earn as well until you get to the point where you have to reduce the amount of power that you consume at home and, reduce the amount of food that you buy and stuff just to make ends meet. It's a pretty dystopian game, like, but it's actually really clever, I think. I love games like that though. Like, it's a very emergent style of gameplay. Actually, it gives you a system and you can build the narrative yourself. It's very similar to, Dwarf Fortress, for example. That's a very emergent gameplay system as well. Primarily because it's so random though, but you can usually find a lot of narrative that comes out of that. And I think probably the biggest, the most famous example of emergent gameplay is probably EVE Online, but that's an MMO. But with that not actually having like a core narrative, the players make the narrative, which is something I've always been fascinated about that game with. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress will be finished someday, but they've been going for years on that one though. It's a pretty fun game though. Like, I've played it before they released it on Steam, like the remake with all the nice graphics, because you had to download graphics packs yourself and apply them, and you actually got some pretty nice ones back then. Yeah, emergent gameplay systems are really, really nice. A lot of games strive to actually create emergent systems, but usually fail. I find, and it's some of the truly random gameplay systems that actually have the best kind of emergent gameplay. Said Dwarf Fortress, EVE Online, probably the best examples of that. And it's always pretty interesting because everyone, when they play those kinds of games, has like a funny story to tell. Like for example, in Dwarf Fortress, you could dig into the mountain, and as you go further and further down, you might end up digging into, I don't know, a cavern with a lot of gold, or you might hit an aquifire and just drown everybody in one go, which is quite funny. But it's stuff like that which always keeps you on your toes, and you always end up with like little stories from your gameplay that you share with other people that way. It's brilliant, that one. Yes, boat murdered. Yes, this book is actually quite nice. Really, really nice. Dwarfing is great fun though, but it's something I would love to do on stream, but I would be sucked into it because I have a passion for playing like, you know, simulation style games like that, so I would just be playing that over and over and over again. Yes, the chair is in here. King of Dragon Pass, I've heard of that one. Yes, so some pretty interesting games. News groups. Yeah, we're getting into the early internet sharing this kind of stuff. News group. Story space. Hypertext editor running on a Macintosh. Yes, losing is fun, actually. That's one of the things I've always liked about Dwarf Fortress, though, is just you could spend hours in it and then you just end up killing everybody through some random accidents. Like, oh well, I've got to start again, whatever. Let's go. Let's go and have a bit more fun, shall we? I could play that game for ages. Like, I mean, I've played SimCity on stream before and I've spent like literally tens of hours streaming that game before, over and over, just to build out my city. Theme Park as well, I've played online, on stream rather. I actually wrote a guide for that. Fuck. I need to remember what the actual command for it is, but I wrote a guide for it. How to actually get the... how to actually build as quickly as possible so that you earn as much money as quickly as possible. Because there is a very specific build order in that game. Yeah, animals breeding and overloading your computer, making things run at 1 frame a second. That's always fun. It's good stuff, that. Lambda Moo. Lambda Moo, what a... oh my god. Divergent dialects, mud and if vocabulary. Oh, we're actually getting into if statements now, are we? Whoa! Look at node charts here. Node charts. Generic room, self-cleaning room, generic stairwell. I think I might play Mirrors after this, actually, though, because all of this text adventure looking is got me wanting to play through a little bit of that again, if I remember how to set it up. Trade wars. Trade wars. Which star will Argosy travel to? Quinn. ETA at Quinn is May 1st, 2070. Yeah, you land, you buy stuff. Sounds like Elite, is it? Can does anyone remember Elite? I know it's not a text adventure, but it had some pretty interesting games in that, gameplay in that. Couldn't love that game. Ooh, interface. Nice. Yeah. I always like looking at early interfaces like this. Get some pretty basic graphics. Toilet! What the heck is that on the right side? The graphics are all... text is all Greek. Yeah, people do forget about the ancient one. I actually really do like the ancient one, even just for like nostalgia's sake. Yes, they're very chunky pixels on that one. Very, very chunky pixels. Yeah. Some good shit on this, like, nice. Yeah, early interfaces coming up now, eh? We're only halfway through the book, you know. Silverwolf. Spoilers? No, you actually get spoiler bars in here as well. Hey! Early illustrations. You'll have to excuse me, I've actually got hay fever today, so I need to use my inhaler a lot. Oh, maps. Maps. Yeah, one thing I like about these books that I've got is that they actually make good use of like occasional double page spreads for some of the graphics. If some of you remember when I unboxed the big book of point and click adventure games, there's a lot of really nice double page spreads in that, showcasing some of the art in that in the games. That book actually has some really nice games in it that I really want to check out at some point. Too many games on the backlog though. The Octagon. The playground. Code, it starts to look more like fucking PHP now. Getting into languages that look like PHP. Dollar emotion structure. Yeah, the backlog will never end. The JRPG book, yeah. Did you buy that actually? Because I really love that book. It's like one of my favorite books. JRPG book. Beautiful little book, that one, actually. So many things in it. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? I think they just released the big book of PC Engine cover art as well. I'm hoping that they actually do like some other genre deep dives, because, you know, they've done what, JRPGs, you know, point and click action, point and click RPGs as well. They've done scrolling beat 'em ups. So I hope they actually start to look at some of the other stuff as well. I would really like to see what they do if they did a shmup book, or even you know, a big book of platformers or something, because they actually do have some good stuff in there. Like, they are quite nicely researched, and the visual aspect of it is always nice as well. They're what I call coffee table books, basically. They're just books that you like to flip through every so often, have a look at. Yeah, they can be pretty expensive to import, though. Big Book of Jong. Zero, we're talking about the book of Japanese RPGs, which I also have. Give me a second. So... Right. Yes. Yeah, so we're talking about this book. We are talking about... hold on, let me just mark my place here so that I don't squash the book. This book, which is the Guide to Japanese Role-Playing Games, and this book has a lot of stuff in it related to Japanese RPGs. So if you're keen on like role-playing games like I am, then this book is absolutely the best book ever. Like, look at some of the nice thing about it is they actually take screenshots and they look reasonably correct as well. The Hammer Brothers, fucking robot Hammer Brothers. And this game is pretty cool though. Fucking the Mario and Luigi series, really, really funny. Yeah, these books are really nice. Grandia. This is one of my favorite books. I think this is the first one that I actually showed off on stream when I bought it. And we went through this like over the course of 2.5-3 hours, just flipping through and seeing what's in there. Some beautiful entries and a little bit of information about the games as well. The World Ends With You, which is a brilliant little game. Easily one of my favorite ones. Radiant Historia. This is an RPG that actually takes the time jumping mechanic from Uno. A lot of games will refer to this game as being influenced by Uno, like one of the few that have actually had like some influences from that. Yeah, Radiant Historia is so good. So there's a lot of really nice games in this actually. Hyperdimension, Art and Elico. But yeah, this is a really good book. This one and the point and click one. And if you haven't seen the point and click one, let me just grab it and I'll show you it again. Yeah, so the point and click one is so nice. Like I said, this is a book also done by Bitmap, which focuses on point and click games. And look at some of the double page spreads on this one though. This one is from Dark Seed, which I keep saying I want to play at some point, and I probably will because this game is so good. But Dark Seed is a really cool H.R. Geiger inspired game. I think I do actually have the game downloaded. I just haven't got around to playing it yet. Let's see now, did I download it? I'm sure I did. No, I think I have to go get it. I did download it at some point though. Darkseid is a thing though. I do know that this game has a really weird system. Like, it's a time-based system where you have to complete the game in a certain amount of time. to get the true end, otherwise it bad ends you constantly. Oh, look at some of the panels in this. Holy shit. This book is amazing. If you love point and click games, and this is another book. Yeah, that's what I thought it was, yeah. It's time based, and the bomb will go off. Ooh, Star Trek, Judgment Rights. Yeah, Loom is a beautiful game. Yeah, so many good games in this actually. Sam & Max Hit the Road. Look at the artwork for this. Obviously you would have to dedicate a double page for this one because Sam & Max has got some incredible artwork in it. And I actually still have a disc of this. I actually have a disc of Sam & Max Hit the Road and the original disc for Day of the Tentacle as well. Two of my all-time favourite point-and-click games. Day of the Tentacle is so good though. Look at some of these panels from fucking Sam & Max. Guns, liqueur, baby needs. Gator Golf, Dunk of the Beast closed. Oh god, Sam & Max is brilliant. I should play through that just to get it off my list. Yeah, really bad food. Yeah, he eats really bad food as well. Yeah. Look in their office, like the Chucky doll on the mantelpiece. Oh god. Yeah, I love those games. So good. Space Quest. Looking Sierra games where they game over you within seconds if you take a wrong turn. Yeah, this book is actually pretty cool as well in that they have interviews with a lot of the big name developers of the time as well. So if you know your point and click games, then this book is probably something that you would want to pick up just to actually have development materials for some of the games as well. Beneath a Steel Sky, yeah. Yeah, so many. Full Throttle. Yeah, this has basically the tour de force of all of the big name games that you might know of way back when. Orion Conspiracy. You're actually getting into some good stuff here. Tex Murphy. Yeah. Good book, this one, actually. And what's nice about these is that they're 35 UK pounds each. Obviously, importing them will be expensive, though, because these are not light books. These are extremely thick and very heavy. But if you like, these types of games, they're actually worth picking up. The books, that is. Just because they have a lot of history in them. And they're actually really nicely crafted as well. I'm pretty keen to see what Bitmap do, like, in the future in terms of books, because I hope, like I said, I hope they actually have more genres popping up soon. Right. I'll just put these away. Got too much stuff. Yeah, I think the difficulty now is just working out where I'm going to put this book because I need some space on the shelf. Yeah, this book is actually quite nice. I'm just going to flip through some of the more recent stuff. Hitting 97. Achaya! Here we go. I think some of you might know this game. The Dream of Divine Life. Whoa! Wow. And is that a node map for this game? Holy crap, that seems really complicated. Jesus. Yeah, this looks about right to me. My kind of game, though. That's a pretty comprehensive map. Yeah, the game today is larger still, according to this. Portion of the map by player Chazara Tassar, Achaya's main continent during the late 2000s, showing lands between Mahaldor and the old city of Shalam, later destroyed. Each square is a distinct described room. Each square. Okay. This spread shows only a portion of the original map and omits many interior areas. The game today is larger still. That is mental. This is a map for a chair. This is a node map for a chair, and each square on the map is an individual room as described by the game, but it only maps the rooms, it doesn't map anything inside it. Yeah, this does seem very accurate to me. Holy crap, that's pretty big. Wow, okay. Utopia. It's actually interesting that you can find a lot of the materials that went into this game, this book rather, online still, like the node maps, for example. Yeah, I think I've seen people playing that actually. It looks pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff that I really want to check out now. Fucking huge backlog adding. Skill wits, strategy resolve. Do you have what it takes to be king of Dragon Pass? Dragon Pass, yeah. Yeah, this game does actually feature a lot of the major ones of each year though, so there's probably a lot of games I would think are missing from this book, and they just detail like the most important ones of each year. So there's probably a lot of games in here that, you know, are missing. I would think that people are like, where's this one or where's that one? Hey, I still have that iPod. Somewhere. It's a click wheel iPod. BlackBerry 7000. Mafia Wars. I remember that. Child's Play. Galatea. Yeah, so we're actually getting into quite a lot of stuff here. The Beast. Summer 2001. America Online keyword AI. The Beast. 2002 Screen. Cave. Yes, we're getting into 3D stuff now. Multiplayer gaming, yeah, that can be a bit of a pain. Imagine if some of the big MMOs are like text adventure style games, just people running around saying, open door, pick up item, attack pig. That would be quite hilarious actually if there was a massively multiplayer online text adventure. Shades of Doom. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here actually. We'll just briefly skim through the rest of this. Dwarf Fortress. Are we dwarfing? Yes, we're dwarfing. Right. Said your story, yeah. Let me even give you some code for this as well. That's actually nice. Creature Toad. Vermin Swamper. Frequency 100. Vermin _ hittable. Amphibious. Small remains. No winter. Yeah, so it gives you all the different parameters for them. Speed. Not butcherable. Nocturnal. Oh fuck. Oh yeah, toads are nocturnal, aren't they? Default tile set. Dwarfing. Yeah, early map view. ASCII style. If you could disciple that on like first viewing, then you're doing something right, because a lot of people just went for interface packs for Dwarf Fortress. I mean, you could sort of guess what most of the tiles are, but yeah, a lot of people back when I was playing it were creating tile maps, like replacement tile maps to upgrade the graphics. And I think I still have like 1 or 2 on my Mac actually. A nice stone stockpile, yeah. Right in there, isn't it? I like Dwarf Fortress, actually, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, the map. The overworld map. Trees and mountains, grassland, rivers, the sea. Yeah, dwarfing is brilliant. It's such a simple premise, but it's easily one of the most entertaining games ever. Such a brilliant game, that one. Dwarfing. Yes, let's speed flick through the rest of this because there's not much else here. It's a good book, this, actually. I'm pretty glad that I bought this because it's got a lot of really interesting information in this. And really quite happy with the fact that they've put in code blocks as well, because it's always interesting to take a look, you know, behind the scenes. So look in the code block that uses classes. Initialize class, create class, fucking object-based code, object-oriented code here. Yeah, every character on that map is a massive map itself, yeah. It's so nuts, fucking Dwarf Fortress, actually. It's, they always recommend that you don't actually generate a gigantic map when you're building out, because it can slow your system down like super fast. What was in the 2010s? Hold on a minute. Go to the hold on. Here it is. So 2010s, we've got a digital love story, Nested, Howling Dogs, Versu, A Family Supper, 80 Days, Lifeline, Choices, The Freshman, Universal Paperclips, We're Good, and AI Dungeon, and then 2020 is Sentence Semiosis. Fallen London, aka London, yes. Aka London. Oh, an interface! Hey, I like interfaces in my games. This looks like a fun game though, I should play this at some point. Always like games like this. Yeah, so Fallen London. So we went to 2010 now. Yeah, so digital love story. You even got one on fucking iWatch, Apple Watch, that's pretty cool. Alright, digital love story. Label start. Label choices. Menu. Yeah, so early interfaces. Oh, Workbench, so this was on Amiga, was it? Oh no, inspired by the Workbench, okay. Yeah, Renby. I mean, technically it still does G, depending on where you go. Depending on where you go. Nested. Alright. Howling Dogs. Yeah, so, yeah, we're into the 2010s here, so modern stuff. Versu. Load maps again. 80 days. 50 lifeline. Ooh, holy crap! The node map. That is holy crap. Yeah, look at the size of that node map. Okay. Pretty complex. Oh, prices. Yeah, it's not a bad book actually, this. Yeah, I mean, it's not a visual book like the other two that I have, but it's actually quite interesting from a developer standpoint, how it actually has a lot of code block to show you how the code is actually set up and how it can branch. It's quite nice actually. It's nice to see under the hood, so to speak, for a lot of stuff. Some games here I might actually check out at some point though. Nice little book actually. But yeah, this comes with where is it? And this, which is a supplement. which just has like some additional stuff as well. Even shows you like a node map on the front as well. We've seen that node map before though. That's for the yeah, that's for the chair, I believe. Nice little book though. I'm pretty glad about this one. They have some digital bonus stuff as well, which I need to check out. I've got the link for it, but I don't actually have it on my PC at the moment. It's all on my Mac. Yeah, this has quite a lot of good stuff in it, so I'm pretty glad that I bought this. It's it took a while for them to finish it off though, because like I said, I put in the crowdfunding like I think last year practically, and they eventually finished it off like over the past few months and released it last week. So it's nice that to actually get my hands on it. It's actually pretty cool. There's like quite a lot of stuff in this that I would like to actually read through again, like especially for the development stuff. There's you know, that kind of stuff interests me, like the actual making of. Always found that kind of stuff interesting. Nice little package actually, especially with the slipcase, the hardcover slipcase. Actually nicely created slipcase as well, like with embossing on it. It's not like a cheap slipcase. Pretty good actually. Nice little book. But yeah, that's this book. This book is quite cool. What time is it? Yeah, let's play something. It's I think I know what I want to play though, but it might take a few minutes to set up, so if you give me a second while I switch to a break screen and just get that all set up, and then we'll play something. Yeah, so give me a minute, yeah? That's all, fam? Yes, exactly. Also, did you just call all my viewers old? Dude. Anyway, back in a second. Let me break Twitch TOS and run some ads, lol. Yeah, just give me a second, yeah.
野球しようぜ。
オッケー。
行こう行こう。お前ら今日はやったよ。
任しとけ。
瀬形三四郎。
瀬形三四郎。
セガサターンしろ。
音速ハリネズミソニックのレースゲームソニック R。
セガサターン。
朝まで覚えようぜ。瀬形三四郎。
はあ。ほら。ほら。
瀬形三四郎。
セガサターンしろ。
3つのドラマの RPG シャイニングフォース3。
セガサターン。
サンタさん来るかな。来るかな。
セガサターンしろ。
瀬形三四郎からのプレゼント三四郎ディスクもついている。
セガサターン。
遊びの道に魂込めた一人の男が今日も行く。真面目に遊ばぬ奴らには体で覚えさせるぞ。瀬形三四郎瀬形三四郎瀬形三四郎とや瀬形
ボンバーマン。
超立体型で燃えまくれ。サターンボンバーマンファイト。
セガサターン。
瀬形三四郎瀬形三四郎
ほら。頭を使え。
頭を使う表裏一体頭脳ゲームソロクライシス。
セガサターン。
瀬形三四郎瀬形三四郎瀬形三四郎
アズイル。
伝説のドラゴンと共に戦いの旅へ。パンツァードラグーン RPG アゼロ。
セガサターン。
瀬形三四郎
素晴らしい